How's it going, everybody? In this video, I'm just going to quickly talk about my post-fight thoughts on Golovkin's performance last night versus Kamil Szeremeta. This was pretty much a stay-busy fight and a title defense that got Golovkin over the record for most title defenses in the middleweight division. The guy was pretty much a European-level opponent. He was game, he was tough, but ultimately he just wasn't on Golovkin's level. And Golovkin boxed well. I mean, he took his time in there. He did what he wanted. It was pretty much like a sparring session on TV. It looked like he was just getting rounds in, and he could have finished the opponent off early. I mean, he dropped him in the first, I think, the second, the fourth, and the seventh. And it looked like he could get Szeremeta out of there pretty much at any time in the fight he wanted to, but he was just pretty much looked like he was getting the ring rust off. He hasn't boxed in a while. You know, he was popping his heavy jab, landing it at will, mixing up his shots, showing his punch variation. He showed a bit of defense in there, catching shots on the arms, the gloves, the shoulders, you know, slipping some shots, countering a little bit. He was looked like he was having a practice session in there. Like I say, it looked like a sparring session. He was pretty much playing with the opponent in there, like a lion will sometimes play with his prey. It looked like he could have taken him out at any time, like I say, but you know, he was getting some rounds in, just getting match fit again, and like I say, he boxed well. He used his jab as he always does. Szeremeta, he didn't really have anything for Golovkin. I mean, at times Golovkin didn't even care to let Szeremeta get shots off, because Szeremeta's only got 5 knockouts in 20 fights, so he really couldn't hurt Golovkin. He didn't have the boxing ability or boxing skills to compete with Golovkin at all. He was a smaller, shorter opponent. He was kind of stocky, but because he was shorter, you know, he couldn't even really jab with Golovkin, although nobody really can jab with Golovkin. He probably has the best or one of the best jabs in the sport. But yeah, I mean, Szeremeta, he was heavily outmatched. He was game, he was tough. I mean, in some of the later rounds, he tried hard, but ultimately Golovkin's just world class, at the very best of the sport, and Szeremeta, like I say, is European level. So anyways, Golovkin wins, by a 7th round stoppage. It was a easy fight for him, but he did what he was supposed to. So he looked pretty good in there. Hopefully we see him up against one of the top middleweights in the next fight for him, like a Charlo or Andrade or Billy Joe Saunders, or even against the winner of Callum Smith and Canelo. It'd also be nice if he wanted to move up to super middleweight, but I don't think he will. He seems to make middleweight pretty easily, so I don't think we'll see him move up to super middle, but I wouldn't mind seeing him up against some of those guys up there. There'd be some real good fights for him up there, such as, Benavidez, Caleb Plant, like I say, Canelo, Callum Smith, Billy Joe Saunders, or even again, I'd really like to see him against some of these young prospects coming up in the sport. Like, I know Edgar Berlanga hasn't really fought any top level guys yet, but if he gets up in the ranks, that would be a really exciting fight to see 2 big power punchers going at it. But that's my thoughts on on Golovkin's performance last night. He looked good. He did what he had to do, knocked some ring rust off, and he got the guy out of there when he wanted to. So yeah, that's my thoughts on the fight, guys. Let me know what your guys' thoughts were on his performance and who you'd like to see him fight next. Thanks for listening, guys. Talk to you soon.